So that's just a little extra. So just some great resources that you can hold on to. You can also, of course, share these out. If there are people at your school or friends across the state that you want to be able to share these resources with. And the next thing here we need to talk about is how to access DE. So before we can really jump in there and have you explore, I do want to talk about the different ways that you're able to get in. One of them is by visiting discoveryeducation.com. You can simply go there and then click on login, and then you have the choice of signing in with Google, Clever, ClassLink, any of those great things. And then down below that, you actually have the search for my school option. So that is one of the ways that you can get in there. But if you're already using Clever or ClassLink, go ahead and find us under those district resources. And you can just click right in. You have accounts ready for you. And then, of course, your students can also get in the very same way. And you do not have to create any accounts. It's already done. So that's a nice thing. You don't have to spend time trying to set up those accounts and get those things going. And again, my email is there. If you are having any questions around logging in, whether it's for you or for students, please send those questions my way. And I'll just pause here for a second. Are there any questions coming up? Or are we feeling pretty good so far? If you'll give me a 1 in the chat, that's how I'll know that you've logged in successfully and hopefully no bumps along the way. And I do have for anyone, is there anyone on the call that is an administrator or maybe a counselor and just doesn't have an account because they don't have students rostered? Oh, good. Lots of ones. That's a great thing. All right. And if there are any people that need just a general Nevada teacher login, I'm happy to share that with you. I think I've talked too much today, so if my words start coming out weird, excuse me. I'm so sorry. You know, last session of the day, I think, yeah, my tongue's, you know, just gone in a whole different direction. So here we are, and we're going to go ahead and move into the actual platform. So here we are, going to be looking at our homepage here. And there are just a few things I want to call out here on the homepage, just want you to be aware of them. One of them is that you have the power to personalize your homepage. So you can click on that edit home layout, and then you'll have all these great categories here that you can, you know, click and drag, move them around as you see fit. Definitely want you to have access to resources that are going to be helpful to you. So just put them wherever you feel. I love having my channels and my educator supports at the top. So that's just me, but I'll just put that out there in case that's for you too. And when you're done, just simply click done and you're all good to go. So here we are, looking at our homepage. One of the first things I want to share with you is how to navigate around the site. So over on the left side of your screen, you have your hamburger menu. If you'll click into that with me, I do just want to kind of breeze through and talk about these different sections with you. So one of the first ones that we see here is My Classrooms. That particular section is going to hold your students, it's going to hold your classes, and it's going to be a great place to go if you want to see all of the different assignments that you've put out on the Discovery Education platform. So that is going to hold a wealth of information for you. It also is the place you want to head to if you want to sign in as a student, if you want to get a little look at the student experience of Discovery Education. You can go into your student rosters. I'll actually show you how to do that now. You can click into Classrooms and then Students, pick a student, any student, and go to that 3-dot menu, and then you'll see the Sign In as Student option. And then you can have a little look inside of what the kids get to see. So that is just a fun little bit right there. I'm going to go back to my navigation, and I do want to go inside our explore button here. So there are a lot of cool things that live inside of the explore button. One of those things is our ready to use activity button. That is going to take you straight to our instructional activities. We also have a ready to use quiz library, as well as our best of interactives. So these are all some really cool things that you can kind of explore and play around with on your time. I know you don't have a ton of time, but you know, when you're looking for those ready to use, I think that I just want you to know that they're here. And then down below, you can actually come in and pool different resources by subject. Since we are talking about careers today, I want to pull in our career and workplace skills. This is one I'm going to share with you in our chat. So what we're looking at here is called a channel. And channels within Discovery, very similar to a TV channel. It's going to hold a lot of different types of content related to a particular subject. So what we're looking at now is, of course, our career and workplace skills subjects. And as you go through here, you see that you have all these great areas that you can kind of take a deep dive into. One of those areas, of course, is our STEM careers. So taking us a little further here, this is our STEM career channel, and this is another one I'm going to drop in the chat for you. And if you want to save these different channels as we go, you'll notice that with a channel, you have an open bookmark, and when you kind of toggle over it, it's going to give you an add to my channels option. So just by clicking that, it's now going to go on my homepage. And then every time I log in, I am able to see that channel on my homepage. So here is where you're going to find a wealth of STEM career, explorations, different instructional activities. So much is going on in this space. So I'm going to stay in the K-5 space for a moment here and just show you how it's set up. So right up here at the top, we have our Make It Modern manufacturing. So that's one of the areas that you can dive into. But then down below, we have some of our Discovery Ed picks. And then this is a personal favorite of mine. So we have something called the STEM Career Student Challenges. And these are separate challenges. I'm going to open up the one here for our web developer. And when we come in here, you have a nice little background slide. I think this is a great place to start. So it tells you a little bit about the profession itself. And then we progress to learning more about the career stats and info. So this is really digging into different skills that you need. It talks about some similar careers. So if this is something that you're interested in, oh, here's a few more things. And then it also really digs deeper into what those people do, how do they get the job, and then what are some other, different trainings, different skills that they're able to attain that can help them out. So this is all within those challenges. And then as we get to the third page, this is actually my favorite part. This is where there are some built-in challenges. So when we talk about a web designer, a web developer, we know that we're also talking about really creating things. So here in our challenge, we are faced with a challenge where we are going to develop and create a digital logo that represents your classroom or school. So that really gives students some hands-on experience here. And then you have some backup supports that we've put into those challenges. And of course, you also have your extension of that learning. So if this is something that you're really enjoying, we've connected it with some other resources that you may want to dig into. And this is all within those student challenges, and there are several of them. So one of the ways that I've heard of this being utilized in a classroom is like small group work, There's also a way that I've heard, like teachers having students do some research around these different topics and then sharing those out with the class. So that's another fun one, but just some really great ideas coming back to these different challenges out there for STEM careers. And then below that, we have some PDF activities. Again, these are all related to STEM. So this is going to bring in some different hands-on stuff that you can do in your classroom. And then we also have our famous virtual field trips. So the virtual field trips, of course, you can use these to really support all of the different areas of STEM that you're talking about in your classroom. One of the more popular ones is Winning with STEM. So with all of our virtual field trips, we have a ton of support built in. So one of the things here, of course, you have your video, but let's say you don't want to show a whole video. Maybe you just want to show some segments of that video. This one is actually broken down into chapters. So you can show shorter clips and do deeper dives into those different sections. You also have a transcript available to you. And then below that, you have related activities. So right here, we have an educator guide that connects with that particular virtual field trip. So that's one of the ways that you can certainly explore different STEM careers and really learn a lot more, through these different interviews that take place within them. And then in the educator guides, you have like a kind of a map, where you are given some ideas on how you can introduce the topic, how you can extend the learning. And it's really nicely built out into this PDF. So you have some different instructional delivery methods that are open to you. And then as you dig through, there are activities that you can bring in. And this is for all of our virtual field trips, not just for the STEM Forward, but we really want to support as much as we can with our educator guides. So that is a really great one to remember. And I will actually put this, I'm going to link the video because then it will take you to everything else. I'll go ahead and drop that in our chat for you to take a look at. And then I'm going to head back to my resources here. There is another great virtual field trip I want to share with you. So let me find my way back here. This one was a very popular, the Tundra Connections virtual field trip. This one was a very big deal. So this is great. Again, you can really bring these to all different grade levels and then pair it with our different instructional strategies. A lot of fun ideas here. And one thing I want to call out too is that you have the ability to download these videos. So if you are wanting to put them in an email or in an existing presentation, you can certainly do that as well. So you are not tied to keeping everything on the platform. And then you also have down below some great things that are connected here. I've actually done The Future Is Now in a classroom. And what I love about this particular STEM virtual field trip is that it has students designing. It really has them, thinking about design, but also they have to put together a whole presentation. They're essentially pitching their idea. So it really is giving them some of that real life experience, that they're going to definitely experience once they are out of school. And it just takes them into a really creative world, but also a world where science and math and technology, all those things come together. So this is another super virtual field trip. I will put this in our chat if you want to reference this one later on. So as you can see, I get very excited about the virtual field trips. I know that teachers are always excited about those as well. So I will be sharing these out through social media. They're going to come out through our newsletters throughout the school year. So you'll see some great virtual field trips happening. We even have some that are happening next week. So some great stuff happening there. So those are the virtual field trips. And we're really just looking at one channel here so far. There is so much more to dig into, but I really wanted to make sure that you know this is all available here. This is another fun one. We have some STEM at home. So these again are different activities. These can be done at home. You can do them in the classroom if you want to. And they are connected to our STEM Career Coalition. And I'm going to take you into that wonderful world in just a minute. But really, these are just some great exercises that are going to touch, math here, but really connecting with science as well. And it's just a great way to challenge students' thinking. And then, yep, our resources go on and on. And then down at the bottom, you're going to see a section called More Resources. Another very popular channel is the If Then STEM Professionals. So I will put a link to this one in our chat, and I just want to load you with some really great resources before we head out today. So this is going to take you into a world where you can actually pick through. We are dialed in right now to the life and earth sciences, but you have the physical sciences, and then of course your computers, engineering, and math. And as you look through these, you have videos, which is great, but you have videos connected to all those different subject areas. And then you're going to have these amazing interviews. And right here, we have a mathematician. And again, you are supported with closed captioning. You're supported with transcripts. And then down below, you have some great activities that this can connect with as well. So we have career profiles, a lot of cool things to dig into here. So this is the If Then STEM channel. And there is just a wealth of information here and just so many great interviews to inspire students. It really focuses on females in STEM roles. So that is another powerful tool to bring into your classroom. So just want to make sure that you bookmark that one as well. And then I'm going to take us up to the top of our STEM Careers channel. You'll notice that there's a section called the Coalition Partners. And I'm going to take us in there just to show you some of the great partners we have. I do want to spotlight one that is very important to Nevada because it's the reason for your access. So we have a wonderful partnership between NDE, Nevada Gold Mines, and Discovery. So that is how you have access here. And this is just an image here, but you can certainly, see here that we have some great partnerships, some really cool stuff to dig into. And I just want you to know that all these great resources together are, creating some amazing STEM, just exploration opportunities across our state. So just a really cool thing to call out. And now what I want to do is show you how to get more of these cool resources. So we're going to come up to our search bar and type in STEM. And from here, you are going to have a lot of different things pop up. So I want to show you how to filter through resources. So now we can come in, maybe we are looking for those career and workplace skills. Maybe we want to see what's here for the 6-8 range. And then, of course, you can pull in different types of resources here. So if I want to just look at my channels, I can pull in all of the different channels related to STEM careers for the 6-8 grade band. So some really popular ones here. The TGR EDU. This is one that is wonderful for the 6-12 range. And inside, you're going to find interactives, you're going to find PDF activities, and you're also going to have some ready-made presentations, as well as videos that you can dive into with your students as well. So this is another great one. I will give you a link to this one and dropping that in our chat. And we also have, oops, sorry, went back too far there. We also have one with Future You by Boeing. So this is one where we definitely have some great virtual field trips connected here. We have one that focuses on manufacturing the future of aviation. So I know that we had aviation at the middle school I taught at. These, different tools are just so powerful to have. And then some of these we have actually turned into full lessons. So you'll see here that we have our manufacturing the future of aviation virtual field trip, but it is in the form of a studio activity. So we have 11 different slides here, and it's going to take you through, it's going to give you videos, it's going to give you great questions, but it's really a great way to encourage research, encourage exploration of all these great topics. So this one I will share out if any of you are into aviation and want to share that out with your students. And I want to just kind of pause here. What are you seeing so far? What channels are really catching your eye? And what types of activities do you think you can take back with you as you think about the students in your classroom? You can drop in the chat some answers, or you can unmute, whatever's best for you. Virtual, awesome. The virtual field trips are amazing, and there's just so many. So lots of good stuff to look through there. Good one. The interactives, good one. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, virtual field trips. And we actually have some, like I said, coming up next week. So be looking on social media. I will be promoting those, just sharing them out. And if you can't catch them live, you can always rewatch them when they are added to the platform. I will show you though, I'm going to go back to our search here, and I just want to make sure that you see all of the other great things here that are tied in. This one is another very popular one, our Navy STEM. So here we have another virtual field trip, and then also followed by some great career profiles. So this is really a great tool, just depending on the type of thing that students are interested in. They can certainly do more research here and be able to pull in some great ideas as far as, the different STEM careers that are open to them. So that's a fun way for them to learn. And I do want to show you, if we want to save any of these particular resources as we're going along, you have a couple of ways to save. You also have a couple of ways to share. One of the ways is here through our quick list. So if you're seeing some amazing resources that you want to make sure that you're capturing along the way, you can click on that add to your quick list. It is going to populate in the same area as your profile panel. So there we go. We have our Navy STEM career profiles. And then from here, if you want to kind of load those up for the week, maybe there's a few videos that you want to share, a few different ready to use exercises. You can, at the end of the week, decide to add them to your content. You can put them in folders, share them out at your school level, share them out at your district level, or you can simply remove everything and then pile it up with new things. So just want to call out some of those different ways of using our quick list. And then another great thing that you have going on here is the ability to share. So if there is a resource that you want to share out with students, you can copy a link, you can use it in your Google Classroom, or you can share it out through Canvas. We are fully integrated in Canvas, which is a wonderful thing. Students don't even have to leave Canvas in order to get to their assignments. So that is a really cool thing that we have going on here inside of our Canvas integration. So those are some of the ways that you can share out these great resources with your students. And then going on from here, I do want to make sure I share another famous resource of ours, the STEM Career Choice Board. And this one is really a great way for students to go through and learn about STEM careers at their own pace. I just put a link to it in our chat. And you'll see here, again, we're going to see that web developer come up. We're going to see some of those great careers that we've come across. I'm going to click in. I always had like the criminal detective always was a part of what I wanted to do. So, going to click in there. We have the Make It Concrete. So there's always going to be some type of instructional activity paired along with some of these different research things that they can do, and just to learn more about the different ideas that are out there for them in the career world. So that's a fun one. And the best uses that I've heard of here, so some teachers are using these at the beginning of class. They're just kind of diving into one a day or one a week and just sharing those out and having them kind of be a part of the beginning warm-ups, or if you have writing prompts, tying them in with that. And then, of course, you can also have students do research on these things and share them out with the class, doing a little bit of teach back. So a lot of fun ways that you can incorporate these in the classroom. And then we took all of those STEM career challenges. This is really an educator-facing resource, but I do want to share it with you because it does talk about all of those great challenges and different ways that you can utilize them in your classroom. So it's going to talk about some best practices, but it's also going to link it up with some of our other great resources. So if you're looking for how do I take this video and then, really extend that learning and understand more of what students are taking away, it will talk through some of our great SOS top 10 instructional strategies. So just some fun ways to pair up these great resources. Now we're going to get into one of the best parts. So I mentioned that we have a great STEM Career Coalition site. And this is one, if you have not taken any other links out of the chat, take this one. So here I've linked it up with our career readiness resources. And you'll see up top, we have a lot of great categories. We have an educator category here. We have a student category here. We even have a section for families, so different family STEM activities and career videos. For our counselors, we do have an entire section dedicated to them. And then for employees, and then of course, a little bit of information about if you want to learn more about our partners. So just want to put that out there too. This was really something important to Discovery. We wanted to make sure that we were putting out information that is free to families. So this is a site that you can share out with families. And this is something that they can visit. They don't have to have a login for this. This is something that you can really share freely. But this is a great place to come and really have access to those career readiness resources. And then, of course, you can explore more here. I love our career finder. This is a fun one. These are all little modules that you can take students through. So it's a little course here. There's a little quiz attached to it. And then, of course, goes deeper with our next steps and our summary resources. But this is just a really fun way to get students, thinking about different areas that they might want to dip into and learn more about. So now that we've seen a little bit more, I know that we've really talked now beyond the virtual field trips. So now kind of wondering, like, how can you use this in your classroom? How can you use something like a STEM career choice board? I want to hear from you and learn about, what you're thinking and how these different resources can support you. And students, of course. The chat is open. I would love to hear when you have a chance. You also have some great things here, life after high school, for those that are, really thinking about what do I do when school lets out, what happens next. That's a great place for them to come and kind of get some ideas on what to do next. Desiree said fifth graders do a career week. Awesome. Oh, so the career choice board can help out there. That's a great one. I love to hear that. I know that, we're always doing cool stuff about, CTE, and all of those cool areas. So definitely want you to know that you have some supports in here as well. I'm going to go into the career videos for just a moment. And I want to show you here that you have, of course, your STEM is already highlighted, but you can actually dive into all of those different areas. And then you have your 5 Ps, you have your career fields. I was recently talking with a health sciences teacher, and there was a ton of excitement when she found out about this site. So if you're looking for those resources that are really going to dip into all of the great areas of CTE, this is a spot that you can come and get some really good ideas. You can also use our featured here. So if you're focusing in maybe on Hispanic leaders in STEM, this is a great way to pull in some resources. And then you can, of course, go through and filter by your grade bands as well. So really a lot of good stuff here. And then also under the educators, you are going to have some connections with our instructional strategies. So if you're, again, looking for ways to incorporate these strategies with your videos, these are some fun ones that you can bring in and are really going to help out there. So I want to share some of the great ideas that are coming in through the chat. I'm thinking of using these resources and coding an after-school club. I love it. That's very cool. We have showing special education kiddos the goals or the goal things, cool things they can do and why it's important to invest in school, even when it's hard. I think that's an awesome message. I love that. And then Kyla says, I have a poster that shows different careers, and this is a great resource for students to research. Yes, absolutely that. And then also through their student experience, they have access to a lot of great resources. So if they are putting together, projects or different resources that they want to share out with fellow students, they have access to those studio boards. They can actually create there. They can make their own presentations and bring in a lot of these great career resources. So I love those ideas. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. I am going to take us away from that for just a moment. And I do want to share that we have some cross-curricular activities within site as well. So this particular one is about engineering, but it also ties in with author's purpose. So I thought this is kind of a fun one to share out, depending on what subject you teach and how you're trying to tie in STEM careers. I just want you to know that there are some awesome supports out there that are really bringing together, the science realm with the kind of English literature realm. So just a fun thing happening here. And it is a great lesson. And there is so much crossover. When you think about careers, when you think about STEM careers, you have to know how to write. You have to know how to speak. All of those things really come into play. So, it's nice to see how they all work together for people to be successful in those roles. And this is a great exercise. Again, it's got everything kind of laid out here. And then you have a link here to the STEM career site. So if students wanted to learn more, they can certainly dive a little bit deeper into those STEM career explorations. I will share this one through our chat if any of you are interested in using that. And then, of course, we've talked about the STEM career virtual field trips. I just want to reiterate here that there are a lot of these that are both going to tie in with math. There is one that I want to share with you specifically that I don't think I've shared with you yet. It is called Working in Harmony. This is a newer one. And this actually brings in the STEAM, if you will. So here we go. I'm going to pull this one up. It's called Working in Harmony. There is an entire channel dedicated to this. So I'll share the channel with you. And it also incorporates some great PDF activities. There are some interactives that you can pull in. So here we have the virtual field trip section. And here you have video segments, but you also have these kind of smaller activities. I love this one. It focuses on the math behind the music, which I think is a great title, especially in a subject like math, where you always have students saying, well, why am I doing this? How does this matter? And what is it tied to? So taking something like music that we know they love, and then being able to really connect that with STEM, and particularly math, I think is a very powerful tool. And again, here you have a long line of resources that you can utilize, even down to different rubrics that students are able to use. These are challenge cards. And then you have some great, different student handouts. The one I'm trying to pull up here we are with the QR codes. So some really fun ways that you can incorporate these different learning activities, and you don't have to do all of it. You can just pick and choose what is going to work best for your students and for you. So I think we've captured some really great STEM career channels. I do want to share this particular search with you, just in case there are any that we might have missed. I know that there are a few in here that we didn't do a deep dive into yet. I will pull up this one, our NBA and WNBA. This one has been a very popular one because it does have some great studio activities that connect with it. And this one has a good connection, of course, with our math and just some of the great STEM areas. So here, it just pulls in some great NBA resources. That is one of our wonderful partners, and just a lot of fun stuff here that you can play around with. And again, with our channels, you're going to find that grade band area. So if you want to pull in K5, you have to make sure that you click on K5. If you want to pull in 9-12, just make sure that you click that, and then you'll be seeing those age appropriate resources in that area. There is another thing I wanted to share with you here, and these are some of our instructional strategy top 10s. So these particular ones are going to connect with the 4 C's. They're really going to focus in on college and career readiness. So I definitely want to share with you what these look like and what they contain. So here we have our college and career readiness. These are really broken down by the different skills, different areas that tie in with that. I happen to love, any of you that have been to my sessions, you know, I love the 6-word story. But I also want to call out here our placemat. That's a great one. And our 3-2-1 period is pyramid, not period. Pyramid is another great way to capture information that students have taken away from their learning. So here, maybe they viewed a resource, maybe they read something, and then you can have them use one of these great graphic organizers to capture some of the ideas that they've taken away. So up at the top, they have their 3 interesting facts, 2 ways that the information is significant, and then they can kind of whittle it down into a 1-sentence summary. And again, these are all downloadable, printable, all of that fun stuff. Just an easy way for you to access some great instructional strategies. And then if we wanted to go into our 4 C's here, again, it's going to break it down and give us some really great activities that we can pull into the classroom. So I will leave you with all of that. When I give you the entire presentation, these are all hyperlinked. So you're able to access all of those great resources there. So we do have time for our AEIOU challenge. Very excited here to do this with you. And the way that we'll do this is if you can capture this maybe on your phone, or if you just want to type it in an email, I would love to capture here some of the things that really resonated with you in our session. So the AEIOU is actually one of our instructional strategies within the site. And this particular one is really kind of helping go through all of the information that you've been given and to think about the adjectives, the emotions, the questions that are coming up around this topic. So for the first 3 answers that I received by email, I am going to be sending out some prizes. So this is in addition to the raffle that we're doing at the end of our session here, but definitely want to hear from you the AEIOU of today's session. So the A is for a word that describes something that you saw or learned. The E is for an emotion, something that it made you feel. And then interesting, what is something that you found interesting? What is something that made you say, oh? And then of course, at the end here, a question. So what is something that is making you say, like, just give me everything that you're thinking and feeling now about your STEM exploration resources. So you can capture that by phone, or you can just slip it into an email and send it my way. I'm going to put my email in the chat again, just in case. There it is. And I really look forward to seeing what you come up with. So if you haven't screenshotted yet, go ahead and screenshot that. And I can't wait to see what answers come in. I've gotten some great ones. And I think it's just such a fun way to really capture what resonates with you and what resources are really helping. And what questions are still with you. So now we're going to get into, I'm going to give you some time with that AEIOU. But we will be getting into our check-in and our survey. And there's also, as I mentioned, a raffle that's going on. So I'll share that with you as well. But maybe while you're working on your AEIOU, I'm going to share something with you. I have some time. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to dig in here to my educator supports. There are some things that I think are useful to leave you with here. One of them is our getting started section. So we have talked about a lot in the last hour, and I know that that is a lot of information to process. So if there are things that you want to revisit, if there are things that you want to learn more about, you can always come here to the educator supports and look at those step-by-step guides. So there are sections that talk about how to find, save, and play media. There's also sections that focus on assigning and sharing to students. So a lot of those different things that we touched upon, these will give you that kind of refresher course. So definitely want you to know that that is an available source. We also have a section here on instructional strategies. So you're doing one right now, the AEIOU, but you will also find here something that I love to share out is the fact that you have a graphic organizer library available to you. So this can be used all subject areas, all grade levels, just depends on what you pair with it. But you have some amazing things that you can have fun with, bringing these into your classroom. So many of them encourage discussion. They, really encourage collaboration and, just some creativity in there. So some fun things that you can work in. I know that there were always things I'd be like, okay, I've really enjoyed this, but now I want to try something else. So this is a great resource for you. A link. link not working? Oh, Google Docs. Okay. So just want you to know that you have these instructional strategies available. And then I'm going to take us back for one more thing. Under our educator supports, you also have a section called Discovery Education Leaders. So within this portion, you have a lot of supporting materials. So this particular one is all about supporting STEM. And this is focused on supporting STEM with Discovery Ed. This is an educator-facing resource. I will share this one with you. And if you want to dig in a little bit more to it, you can. So here you're going to find a lot of great information about how you can support STEM using all of our Discovery education tools and the great resources that we have within. And I click back here, sorry about that. Oh, you're so welcome, Allison. I'm glad that you enjoyed. I hope you got a lot of good stuff. So I will go ahead and start sharing some of my different resources with you. One of the things I'm going to share with you is an invitation to join our Discovery Educator Network. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, like, I do not need one more thing, but this is really a light lift in terms of what it is. It is just a way for you to get extra support with Discovery Education. You will be invited to different workshops. And then, of course, you get to network with educators across our country. So some really fun ways there that you can interact and learn through others and just meet more teachers. I think that's always fun. So I'm going to give you some of those links here in just a minute. I'm going to start with our raffle information and my email once again, just in case you missed it. So here it comes. And I want to say again, the raffle is separate from the AEIOU. So if you sent me an AEIOU, it is, potentially you could get 2 prizes here. So just putting that out there. And then we also have our Discovery Ed check-in and our survey that go with today's session. Here it comes. And finally, we have the link that is going to take you to our Discovery Educator Network if you are interested in joining. And there's also a link here to the Discovery Education Canvas course that is in collaboration with NDE. So please take a look at that. If you're unable to make our statewide virtual professional learning, that's another great way to learn about Discovery Ed. And I will pause here. I want to see if there are any questions out there. I am going to put up a link, or actually I should say a QR code. If you want to capture this QR code, it is going to give you the entire presentation. So you are able to pull up those resources when you're ready. And I'm sticking around just in case any questions come up. But I am so happy that I got to interact with so many of you today. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing ideas and all that good stuff. Really appreciate you.
And thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you, Amy. Oh, is there an attendance link?
I'll drop that into the chat again.
Awesome.
Make sure you click the link and not the picture of it. I don't know why Google is doing that to us, but
oh no, that's not nice, Google.
Actually, not Google. This is actually a Zoom thing. But
okay. like, geez.
Sorry, Google. I just dropped the attendance link into the chat again. Also, please be sure to click the link for if you have any feedback in regards to this session and the conference in general. And I too will stay here in case any questions or people just need a space to fill out the surveys and copy all the links that Jennifer was kind enough to drop into the chat.
Oh, good question, Holly. So yes, there is a way to archive. There is a way of going into your classes. I'll show you what that looks like. So if you head over to your global navigation, and then you go into My Classrooms, there is the classroom section. And here is where you're going to find that you have the 3-dot menu. So if you want to pull out a class, you just go to archive this class. And then there's also a way to restore the class if you need to. So yeah, if you accidentally hit a button, there's always a way to undo it. No worries. I hope that helps, Holly. If it doesn't help, if there are still some students that shouldn't be there, go ahead and email me and we can dig a little bit deeper and figure out how to get them out of there so that you're just seeing your current students.
No, that works. Sorry, I was looking under the students tab instead of the classrooms tab.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, and you can't move them out of that way. So thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. I will say here, all of like, if you use Clever, all of your classes, all of your students are coming in through Clever. So, you know, every district, every school, you know, does that just slightly different. So if there's ever anything that we can do to make it easier, let us know. Thank you for being here, Juan. I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope you can take lots of good STEM stuff back to your classroom.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
When I was in session 2 with you,
Mhm.
I filled out all your survey stuff, but I didn't see the surveys from the whatever, the other ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see. So were you able to capture the presentation at the end?
I filled out both of your surveys, but I didn't see anything from the district or whatever.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't have access to those. Like the ones that Andre's putting in.
Yes.
Okay, those, I don't know. Is there a way, Andre, that they can go back and get those or?
Yeah, Lisa, if you actually, I'm going to drop it into the chat again. Do you want the attendance one
The one for session 2, I never saw it.
for attendance, right?
Yeah, well, both, I guess.
So it's
the
in the
survey
survey?
and the
Oh, so you want, okay,
attendance and the survey.
you gotta speak slowly, Lisa. It's the end of the day and it takes a while for me to catch up. I'll drop them both in the link, and I believe there is something in the attendance. Hang on, I'm looking at the attendance one right now. So when I'm gonna drop in the attendance one first. And when you go in there, just click session 2.
Okay.
All right. And then I will drop the feedback survey also. And I believe it has the same thing where you can click the session you want to provide feedback for.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
All right, and I'm gonna drop, Desiree is asking about the SOS top 10s for the 4 Cs. So I'm gonna give the direct link to that if any of you want to capture that. And then I'm also going to take us back a little bit because there is a place where you can access all of the top 10s. So I want to make sure that you get that as well. And those are under our educator supports. And then let me make sure I find the right one here. I might be covering it for myself. No, here we go. So yes, on this page, all the way down, there is an entire instructional support channel. So I will share that whole channel with you here, Desiree, and anyone else who's interested. And that'll give you a lot of those top 10s. And I love the top 10s because it divides them up by skills. I just feel like it makes it so much easier. You're so welcome. Great questions. Thank you.
Lisa, and for anybody else, on the session evaluation, there's a drop-down menu where you could select the session of choice. Also, make sure you do one for this one. And Jennifer, thank you very much.
My pleasure. No, this was so much fun.
For our last session, you came strong.
Thank you.
You did not phone it in. So kudos to you.
Well, thanks. I tried, I was like, you gotta give as much to your last session as you do to your first. So
I hear that. You did a great job.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I hope to see you soon in some of our virtual learnings. That would be awesome.
Definitely.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Take care, Jennifer.
Bye-bye.
All right. The closing session should be starting now. If you have a question or about any of the or just need are we still filling out surveys? Do you need some space to do that, or can I close the room? Bye, Desiree. You have a great rest of your day. Lindale? I'm gonna have to move over to the closing room. Lindale, can you hear me? What